Our story begins on a rainy Tuesday morning, the kind of morning where the clouds hang low and people hurry past one another without so much as a glance. In the middle of all this rush stood an elderly man named Mr. Collins. His coat was worn, his shoes scuffed, and in his hands he held a small box wrapped in fading brown paper. He looked lost, confused, and a little overwhelmed. Most people walked right by him, umbrella in hand, eyes fixed on the ground, too busy to notice. But one person did stop. A 17-year-old girl named Mia, a high school student known for her bright smile and the headphones she always wore around her neck. Mia had been on her way to school when she noticed the old man standing at the bus stop, glancing nervously at a piece of paper. Something about him tugged at her heart. She removed her headphones and walked over. "Are you all right, sir?" she asked softly. The old man looked up, surprised that someone had actually spoken to him. His voice trembled as he explained that he needed to deliver this small box to someone very important, someone who lived across town, but he couldn't find the right bus. The address, he said, belonged to an old friend he had not seen in decades. Today was that friend's birthday, and inside the box was a wooden toy soldier they had carved together when they were children. He wanted to deliver it personally, but he couldn't navigate the complicated routes anymore. Mia felt a warmth in her chest. She decided right then to help him, even if it meant being late to school. She told him not to worry, that she would take him exactly where he needed to go. They boarded the next bus together, and during the ride, the old man shared pieces of his life, how he grew up in a small town, how he worked as a carpenter, how he lost touch with his childhood friend after moving to the city for work. Mia listened intently, fascinated by the stories. In a world of constant noise and screens, hearing someone reminisce with such emotion felt almost magical. As they rode through the city, something unexpected happened. A few passengers overheard the conversation and began to smile. One woman offered her seat. Another person gave Mr. Collins an umbrella for later. A man across the aisle even shared that he, too, had a childhood friend he wished he could reconnect with. It was as if the kindness Mia showed had lit a spark inside everyone around her. The bus seemed warmer, brighter, more human. When they finally arrived at the neighborhood, Mia guided Mr. Collins down a quiet street lined with old brick houses. They found the address, a small, cozy home with a garden full of daisies. Mr. Collins hesitated, gripping the box tightly. Mia gently placed her hand on his arm to reassure him. He rang the bell, and after a few moments, an elderly woman opened the door. She looked at him with wide, astonished eyes. "Tom," she whispered. Mr. Collins nodded, tears brimming. The woman, Mrs. Harper, was not just a friend. She had been his childhood best friend, someone he once considered family. The reunion was emotional. Mrs. Harper embraced him tightly, laughing and crying at the same time. She invited both of them inside. Mia stepped in politely, still unsure if she should stay, but the elderly woman insisted, saying that anyone who brought such kindness into their day was more than welcome. Inside the cozy living room, they shared tea and biscuits while Mr. Collins presented the box. When Mrs. Harper opened it and saw the delicate wooden toy soldier, her hands trembled. She held it close to her heart, saying she had never forgotten the summers they spent carving small toys together. She told Mia that this soldier was part of a set, and she still had the other pieces in a small wooden chest. They spent hours talking, sharing not only memories but laughter, heartbreak, and stories from their long lives. Mia listened with a sense of wonder, realizing she was witnessing something precious, the reunion of two souls who had once walked the same path and were now finding each other again after decades apart. When it was time for her to leave, both Mr. Collins and Mrs. Harper thanked her with sincerity that brought tears to her eyes. Mrs. Harper handed Mia a small wooden flower carved years ago. "To remind you," she said, "that kindness always grows." As Mia walked back toward the bus stop, she felt lighter than ever, as though she had just experienced a miracle. She knew she would be late to school, but somehow it didn't matter. Some lessons, she realized, were far more important than anything written in a textbook. On her way home later that day, She kept thinking about the chain reaction she had witnessed. One simple act of kindness had connected strangers, reunited friends, and turned an ordinary morning into something unforgettable. In the days that followed, Mia kept that small wooden flower on her desk. Every time she looked at it, she remembered that compassion doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as noticing someone who needs help and choosing to care. And something inside her changed. She started looking around more, noticing people, offering help, smiling at strangers. It was subtle at first, but soon she started seeing others respond in kind. A friend picked up someone's dropped books. A neighbor brought groceries to an older woman on their street. Even at school, students seemed a little more patient, a little more gentle. It was as though kindness had become contagious. Meanwhile, Mr. Collins and Mrs. Harper began meeting every weekend. They revisited old parks, shared meals, and even started carving toys again, not because they needed to, but because it made them feel young and connected to life. Mia visited them from time to time, and each visit reminded her of the power of empathy and the beauty of human connection. One afternoon, Mr. Collins said something she would never forget. "You didn't just help me find an old friend. You helped me find a piece of myself I thought was lost forever." As the seasons changed, Mia realized that the world hadn't become kinder overnight. But she also realized this: even in a busy, chaotic world, moments of genuine human warmth can still break through. And every one of us has the power to create those moments. She understood now that kindness doesn't just help others. It helps us become better, softer, braver. It restores something inside us, something we sometimes forget is there. So if you're watching this, remember that even the smallest gesture can ripple outward in ways you may never see. A smile, a question, a moment of your time, these can change someone's day, or even change their life. And who knows, maybe your act of kindness will be the spark that restores someone else's faith in humanity.